With the calendar control, you can surface a record's related activities directly on the form. And in my opinion, this might be a better user interface than the timeline control because it shows you exactly when these upcoming activities are happening. The calendar control is fairly straightforward in concept, but it has several nuances that you need to be aware of and can make setting it up tricky. So let's go ahead and do that right now. As always, here we are back in the Power Apps Maker portal. We are going to navigate to our account main form where today we are wanting to add the calendar control. This way we can showcase an account's related activities directly on the summary tab of our main form. Navigate to your table in the Maker portal and then find your form. Be sure, as always, that you're making any updates in a solution. I know I am not doing that here and being a total rule breaker, but do yourself a favor and do that. Now for today's example, like I said, we want to add this to the summary tab and actually replace where the timeline currently sits with the calendar control. Once you know where you're going to be placing the control, go ahead and select components up in the top left ribbon, and then on the left hand side open up the display group and find the calendar. Click and drag this control on the form wherever you would like it. Once you let go, it's going to display this screen here where you'll need to set up the properties. Now, it's really important that you set up the properties as I have here in this video because this is ultimately what your control is going to show when your users look at it. For example, if I use the My Activities view when setting this up, then this calendar is only going to show records related to me when I'm looking at the account. If someone else were looking at it, then they would see different activity records because those records don't fall under their My Activities view. I think it would be more common in a use case to use the Open Activities view because you would likely want everybody who looks at this account to see all of the activities happening with the account regardless of whose activity they are. But regardless, the activities are only going to show up if they would normally show up in the view that you select. Now, I understand I said the open activities would probably be more common, but in today's example, we're going to use the My Activities view. Now, for the start date field, you are going to want to match this to the start date here that I select. Then for the description field, I would recommend using subject here. This description component is what's going to outline the text that shows over the blocked time on the calendar. So for example, if you set the description to the regarding field, it's only going to show the name of the record, the activities regarding, which we're kind of assuming that you're already on that record. Like for example, it would just show the account name in all of these appointments, which wouldn't be very useful. Now the most important property is going to be making sure you set the end date to the due date field. I did some playing around with the different fields on what the end date should be, and I found that this provided the best experience and most accurate experience of when creating activities. I am not sure why the scheduled end field is not selectable here. If you are able to see that, then I would recommend actually using that as opposed to the due date. If there is something I'm missing, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Lastly, I would set the duration to the scheduled duration field. The actual duration is not going to be calculated until after the activity happens. You want to make sure you're using the scheduled duration here. That way you get some use out of the duration component. Also, I just want to mention that I have not played around with this color setting here, but if you have, then go ahead and update it as necessary. Once you have all of your properties set, go ahead and select Done. This will instantly place the calendar on your form in the Power App Maker portal wherever you dropped it. Now, there is still one super important thing you need to know about this control, but at this point, our form is good to go. So let's go ahead and save and publish. While this is publishing, I just want to say thank you so much for sticking this far into the video. If you're finding this video helpful or insightful, consider subscribing to the channel. This way you can continue to learn how to revolutionize business that use Microsoft Dynamics through the Maker portal. Okay, we are done publishing. Let's go ahead and take a look at a record in Dynamics. If we navigate to an account record, you can see that our timeline control is no longer there, but now it is replaced with our calendar control. You can see that there are already 2 upcoming activities for this account. We have an appointment and an email activity. You can actually click on the record in the control and it will show just a quick synopsis, and then selecting the more info will actually direct you to that activity record. You can also create activities directly from the calendar, kind of like the timeline control. Whichever one you select is going to open up the appropriate quick create form. For the sake of a demo, I'm gonna go ahead and create a new appointment here and schedule it for a little bit later in the afternoon. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the duration of this appointment is actually 1 hour. After saving, you can see that this is auto added to the calendar, and it is going to take up a full hour to display the duration that I had set. If you are interested in how you can continue to boost the Microsoft Dynamics UI or UX, go ahead and check out this playlist here, as it's going to cover all of the different controls currently available in Power Apps. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end of the video. My name is Griffin Lickfeld, the host of Citizen Developer, and I'm excited to connect with you guys in the next one.